Now, after the Donald Trump Vladimir Putin summit press conference, which was very, very strange. And a lot of different pundits have come out and explained why it was pretty strange. The deference that he gave to Vladimir Putin. I'm not really going to talk about all that. But that is a subject of discussion among Fox News hosts. Now, apparently, some of them have come out guns blazing at President Trump's apparent worship of this autocratic leader. Now, this is fascinating because Fox News, as you know, is a propaganda arm of the Republican Party. So, look, in I think most circumstances, they defend Trump completely. Even when he lies about things and then comes back and then does a backpedal on the lie, or the lie that he was lying about originally that he lied about. It's hard to keep that straight. But anyway, so now on the idea that the U.S. is to blame, because that's what he said. Oh, Russian aggression. Well, that's the United States' fault. Wait, how's it the United States' fault when Russia decides, let's go and take Crimea? Well, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's our fault. Not only that, but also on the idea that all of his own intelligence guys on Russian hacking into the DNC, DCCC, and Clinton's emails are wrong. To that, Fox News said, all right, that's it. That's it. We've had enough. Let's start out with Fox Business host Trish Regan. I don't know if it's Regan or Reagan, which it would make sense if it was Reagan, because it is Fox News after all, but here's what she had to say about this entire thing. Watch.
The mainstream media did not want this meeting to happen. And I had really hoped I could say that they were wrong. I thought that maybe I could, at this moment in time, say they were wrong, because this was an opportunity for our president to get up there on stage and look Vladimir Putin in the eye and say, you're not going to mess with us again. But he didn't. In fact, he basically said he didn't buy what his own intelligence community was telling him. This was clearly not his best performance. He's done a whole lot better than this. He should have defended us. He should have defended his own intelligence community. Or just don't take the meeting. Don't go to Helsinki if you can't look the guy in the eye and tell him what's what.
Damn. Again, I forgot for a moment that I was watching Fox Business, which, by the way, when do they ever actually talk about business? I don't think I've ever seen that. We'll get back to Fox Business. There's also a different host on there that is very friendly towards Donald Trump. We'll get to her, of course. But look, what Trump said is that, hey, man, look, Putin, I asked Putin if he meddled in the election, and he said no. He strongly denied it. So, look, anybody who knows Putin knows that he's a former KGB officer and he's an autocratic ruler. There's no actual real democracy. Even Edward Snowden, who was given the ability to live in Russia, says, you realize that the elections here are rigged. Well, you want to talk about rigging, right? What Putin does makes the DNC, which the DNC, what they did was terrible, right? They make what the DNC did look like child's play. You want to know how to rig elections? Putin will tell you how to rig elections. But anyway, now, let's move on further, right? So he chose Putin, whose only interest is increasing Russian power over his own intelligence agencies. It's not ours, right? The members of these agencies ain't nobody's liberals. See, that's why I've got issues with them and their trustworthiness. I don't trust our intelligence agencies either. But you have to look at what they're saying. Not everything that they say is a complete lie. You actually have to look at the reasoning behind what they're saying. Now, for example, in Iraq, a lot of people like to point out Mueller helped sell us on the Iraq war. Well, you got to look what the Iraq war was about. It was about oil. So, okay, James Clapper on when it came to the spying in on Americans. That was trying to protect the Obama administration and that policy so that they wouldn't be embarrassed. Okay. So what would be the payoff to this? What would be the whole point of making up Russian attempts, not actual infiltration, but attempts to infiltrate our voter databases? I mean, I could make the argument that, well, look, if we have this infiltration, maybe we should get rid of the D-Bowl voting machines. Oh, wait, no, those are connected to highly placed Republican, leaning businessmen. They make money off selling those voter machines, so that doesn't help the Republicans. So I'm just trying to figure out what the payoff here is, right? But look, it's not like the intelligence agencies haven't lied to us, right? But why lie about this? That's what I'm wondering. Why lie? I mean, look, it's not like they're Hillary Clinton or DNC plans. These are all Republicans, right? Mueller's a Republican. Rosenstein's a Republican. Comey was a Republican. Now he's an independent. So why would they make things up about a Republican president? I guess I could see why Comey, because Comey got fired. But as far as the other ones, I just don't quite understand it. And on Comey, look, he knew there was an investigation into Trump Russia during the election. This is why while he was still serving as head of the FBI. You know what he did? He chose not to reveal that information. Why did he choose not to reveal information that President Trump was under investigation during the election? Oh, right. It's because it would hurt his chances. Now, did he give that same consideration to Hillary Clinton? No, he did not. We know that because he came out days before the election and said, oh, hey, you know, it looks like Hillary's under investigation for that damn email server. Nothing we can do. Nothing we can do. We're looking into it, though. Do you think that maybe hurt her election chances? Perhaps. You could definitely argue that it hurt her campaign. And look, for me, I think that Hillary Clinton's campaign died the death of 1,000 cuts. I've explained that before. But here's the point, is that they're not trying to push the DNC narrative that Hillary Clinton actually won the election, and if it weren't for those dastardly Russians, that she would have won. No, they're not saying that. Not one of these reports alleges that any votes were changed whatsoever. Not one single vote. And they keep stressing that and stressing that. So again, where's the payoff here? What point would there be to lie about this? I don't see a point. Now the emails, of course, that were released, again, actually did help Republicans win. Why? It's because they were damning against Clinton. So here's what they're doing, is that they're actually just following what evidence that they can find. And that evidence that they have concluded that the Russians most likely hacked the DNC, stole the emails, and attempted to breach voter databases. And so we have a president now that's like, nope, sad, witch hunt, fake news. I believe Russia over my own people. And look, he's Putin's bitch. And that's why he's refusing to fight back. Now, I'm not saying punch him in the face or launch nukes. I'm not interested in war. And that's another narrative here, right? Look, I'm not interested in war. Some people are interested in a war. I'm not. Those people are idiots and they're wrong. And war with Russia would be absolutely disastrous. I'm not going to go in that direction. I don't want to go in that direction. And I'm going to be very, very clear about that. But anyway, tangent aside, Fox hosts aren't done yet. In fact, you have Neil Cavuto, who said, quote, I just found that Vladimir Putin appeared to run circles around the president and got him to buy hook, line, and sinker every single sneaky lie and misstatement he has made on this matter. Not just them. Newt Gingrich, right? Newt Gingrich is somebody who sucks on the president's ass more than anybody. He said, quote, President Trump must clarify his statements in Helsinki on our intelligence system and Putin. It is the most serious mistake of his presidency and must be corrected immediately. So Cavuto, Reagan, Gingrich, already. No, it's not. It gets worse. Here's more. Maria Bartiromo, right? This is one of Donald Trump's biggest defenders. Said this and had this discussion on Fox Business. Let's take a look at that.
I don't think there's any question that the Russians tried to undermine the West, have been trying to undermine the West for decades and meddled in our election. I've got the report right here. Report on Russian active measures from the Intel Department. This is from Devin Nunes and the Intel, Intel Committee, rather, which released it in March. So there's no question about that, but the president did not want to address it in front of Vladimir Putin, which is a head scratcher.
Right. As you point out, these are not partisan findings. No. These are bipartisan findings.
And this has nothing to do with collusion. This is not about Donald Trump.
Right.
This is about the Russians undermining the U.S. What's not about Donald Trump.
What's also head-scratching is he had spent the previous days sticking his finger in the eye of so many allies in Europe. You know, Theresa May in London and
Angela
Merkel in Germany. And, you know, how do you
he said Germany is totally controlled by Russia. He said that during the...
Well, he also called their European allies foes. And then when asked if Russia was a foe, he said they're a competitor. It's just...
Yeah, and I think it's just going to be, going forward, what does this do in our position in foreign policy around the globe, too?
Another question, who quits in this administration? If anybody, but who quits? That's certainly being discussed.
There are questions that we could see resignations.
Right.
We'll see about that. We'll see how long-lasting this is. It was probably the low point of the presidency.
It's a low point of the presidency. Boy, this whole idea, man, the president didn't want to address this in front of Vladimir Putin. It's a real head scratcher. No, it's not a head scratcher. I think we know why. I'm pretty sure we know why. For some reason, he has this huge deference towards Vladimir Putin. And again, you can speculate on the exact reason why. But I think it's pretty clear from his behavior, there's something going on there. Now, it's not just Maria Bartiromo. You also have Fox News' John Roberts. Now, John Roberts is talking about the reaction that he's getting, and this is interesting. Take a look at this.
Indications are that this is going to cost the president dearly politically. The summit that he just completed in Helsinki and is flying back home from now, he is taking it on the chin, not just from Democrats, but from Republicans as well, from literally every state across the nation. Now, I think diplomatically, you could probably say that the president's strategy was he wanted to engage Putin. He didn't want to say anything that was going to tick him off. But there's a growing consensus across the land tonight, Shep, that the president threw the United States under the bus.
The president threw the United States under the bus. That is not coming from MSNBC. That is not coming from CNN. All these different critiques, they're coming from Fox News. And look, Maria Bartiromo, just to go back for that one just a minute. This whole thing is separate from the collusion issue. And they make sure, like, it's not, no, they're not about collusion. Nothing about collusion. It's all about if the Russians went and tried to interfere in our election. And the overwhelming answer is absolutely yes. So why, and this might be tied to the collusion, why is President Trump not actually challenging them? So even when they're making sure to point out, oh, we don't believe in the collusion angle, Trump's reaction, they can't help but kind of notice that Trump's reaction could be possible evidence of collusion. Now, again, not solid evidence, nothing like that. But you just look at that and you're like, I wonder why. And it puts that question into everybody's head. Is there collusion? I don't know. But somebody seems to be acting like there might be. But look, when a Republican president gets that much pushback from Fox News, you know that there is something definitely wrong here. When Fox News feels the need to go and say, oh, hey, man, look, there's something going on here. Like, you might want to go back and you might want to be a little tougher and say, hey, don't fuck with us. Don't mess with our elections. What you did was wrong. I mean, that's exactly the advice that they're trying to give Trump. Hey, be strong. And it was important too. What one of those guests with Bartiromo was actually saying is, while this is going on, he's sticking his finger in the eye of all of our different allies and embracing somebody who is, I wouldn't say an enemy of the United States, but definitely not a friend, right? an adversary, even. So that's weird. And look, I think personally, if you ask me, Trump did everything but give Putin a handy during that during that whole thing, and it just kind of makes you wonder, and it makes me wonder in my head, what the hell does Putin have on Donald Trump? I don't know, man. And if there is something, it's got to be good. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.